This podcast is sponsored by Relevant. It's a new iOS app to consolidate the media you want to see in a place you control. With Relevant, you stay up to date with things you're actually interested in. You tell Relevant what's relevant to you, and you'll be given all the content you love from all across the internet, all in one place. It's available on iOS devices and coming soon to Android. Be the first to know with Relevant.
Hello. We're here.
What's up, guys? It's the Poorly Edited Podcast. Oh, Patrick.
My bad.
Patrick
The
didn't
button's
have
not
my
pressed
mic on.
correctly. No. Mic is on, set to the right channel.
Oh, well, you know what, guys? It's still the Poorly Edited Podcast. We're here at WXLV live at the X. It's the Spring Breakers edition of the Poorly Edited Podcast, and we're here. There's school's out for the summer, and we're here.
All right.
I'm just
School's
kidding.
out forever.
There's no school ever again.
Right.
And I'm here with our great host. I'm Chandler Davis, by the way, and I'm here with our great hosts.
My name's Coffee Guy.
My name's Patrick Lilly.
And we have Josh Brennan on the camera. And again this week, he's amazing. And
Gary Oldman as Winston Churchill.
Gary Oldman as Winston Churchill on the camera.
As Josh Brennan.
Now, you are listening to our boy, Ryan Flynn, a.k.a. Mungo, with his hot new single he just released on Spotify yesterday called Sun Magic.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Nailed the name. I've been forgetting the name of that song for the past 24 hours. So hope you enjoyed that. If you did, go check him out. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff to talk about because I'm sure a lot of you know that the Oscars were last night.
Oh.
Yeah. You might have. Okay.
Who's Oscar?
He's Oscar Isaac.
Yeah.
who plays
Here we go
Poe
again.
Dameron.
Bringing it all around.
Welcome to The Last Jedi.
And we're back to the Last Jedi podcast. Last Jedi was up for awards yesterday, and I was kind of like, "Are you sure?" You know.
What was it, like sound design, visual effects?
Yeah, the
something
usuals
else
that
they
Star
give
Wars
to
will go for.
sci-fi stuff.
This, yeah.
Sci-fi.
Now, what there's a lot of films, honestly. All right, I'm not one of those people who religiously watches the award shows and the Oscars and stuff like that.
Neither am I.
Yeah, not usually that into it. And my reason being is because the Oscars are not, they're not objectively what the best films are of the year and stuff like that. And this is rather common knowledge at this point, but there's like a lot of, there's campaigning, like you can't ring the bell yet.
No. I was playing with the bell and I accidentally rung it.
Does that count?
No.
He's already tuned out of the podcast.
Yeah,
He's already
this
phoning
is the
out.
last show.
I'm just representing our audience. What were we saying? I wasn't paying attention.
In short, the Oscars are mainly, they're kind of lobbied by the production companies and the people who want them. They go and they campaign towards the Academy. They give them gifts, nice screening parties, things like that, run a lot of ads to get eyes on their films, to gain the favor of the Academy so that they consider them in a more positive light. Denzel Washington actually even made a joke about it during one of his acceptance speeches. So it's like, it's not really a secret. It's just a matter of, do you care or not, that's how it works. But that aside, last night was actually, because I've watched other Oscar shows in past years, but last night was genuinely a very good show that they put on, I would say. I know you guys don't agree.
No, well, I mean,
because you didn't see it.
I saw bits of it, and I kind of like the Oscar history stuff that they do. I'm sure a lot of people just think it's boring or something.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting.
Did you see that montage?
No.
Oh, dude. They had like this really long montage at the start, near the beginning of the show, I should say. And it was just, it was so amazing. They had so many like montages of all like the films from just years and years and years. and it was really emotional, you know, for someone who loves movies so much and grew up watching like so many movies and stuff, and that's like a major part of my whole deal as a person, you know. Watching those is like really, really crazy. Like gives me goosebumps every time, honestly. But yeah, unfortunately, why couldn't you watch the awards last night?
My internet was being really bad, and like, you know how you're watching a stream, like a live stream on Twitch or something, and every once in a while it'll just reverse like 3 seconds. No, that never happens to you. Not go in reverse, but it'll back up like 3 seconds.
You know when it just starts playing in slow motion backwards when you're watching?
No way.
Does that really never happen to you?
No.
Ever?
Like buffering? Is that what you're talking about?
No, like it'll just rewind like 3 seconds.
Like a VHS tape?
Sort of, I guess. I don't know.
Are you being kind?
Anyway.
Nobody saw
Pat
that.
hit the bell himself.
That was up for an Oscar last night. No, nobody saw that movie at all. Nobody
I saw that movie.
Really? You're the only other one.
Yeah.
Other
I thought
than me.
about getting that movie and then wiping the disc like they do in the movie. They wipe the tapes and then remaking it with me and my friends. So it's a movie of me remaking
Is that a
Jack
real
Black
thing?
remaking. What?
Is that a real thing you did?
No. So I thought about doing it.
Oh.
But
Can we do it?
Yeah.
You're hired?
You're hired.
It sounds like something you'd get in trouble for.
What? That's a parody.
It's parody.
Yeah, I know. But doing it for real, like actually buying the tape and then.
Oh, no. I'm actually going to put on a Be Kind Rewind VHS.
Hey,
Oh,
let's move on.
that's
deep can
piracy.
this go?
Oh, that's just piracy. So but I think before we get into, is there anything you guys want to bring to the table that happened over your week or your weekend? Because it doesn't feel like a weekend happened because of like the break and stuff. Things feel really weird.
It feels like we're now hitting the weekend.
Yeah.
But
Yes,
we're
it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because this is when we should be in class. and
Oh, we had a storm that destroyed
We did, yeah, it was
seemingly half
great.
the state.
that was awful.
Yeah, that was a
It
real
was a
fun time.
nor'easter. Those are always fun. Yeah, I actually lost power for the first time. I thought I was gonna get through this season without losing power at all because I live in like the woods where trees fall on power lines all the time, or people try driving and drive into telephone poles because it's icy, and I lose power constantly. But I almost squeaked by, and then this storm happened. And I lost power for like a whole day. It was pretty weak.
I was really worried because that storm was the same day the Path of Exile League was supposed to drop. I'm like, if I miss this,
I was
now I'm just happy because I know I work with people who still don't have power, and they're probably not
What?
going to have power for the rest of the week.
It sounds like you're
So-
happy that they don't have power.
Yeah, that's what he
No,
just said. Actually,
I feel very fortunate that I'm not in that situation.
Okay.
Because especially since my first 2 real days off that I've had since the semester started would have been spent in darkness. Externally, not internally. Internally, that's a whole different story. We're not even going to get into that today.
I was actually working during the storm, and
Yeah, I was too.
it was terrible. I mean, I was outside though. I was like pushing carts around.
Oh, that's cool.
I was like running around chasing down carts. I was like full on sprinting, trying not to get people's cars hit by carts.
One of the things I noticed though, like when I left work, I realized that it looked so much worse from indoors, like looking outside, than it actually was when you got out there. Not that it wasn't awful, because it was actually snowing horizontally. It was crazy.
There's also there's like little corrals we put the carts in. That's where,
Yeah.
that's where customers are supposed to leave their
Right,
carts,
yeah.
which they never do.
No.
Really
Be kind,
aggravating. Or
rewind.
they do the thing where like their car will be across from the corral, so they're just like, I can push it from
Mhm.
here, and the cart goes 3 inches inside the corral, and they're like, looks good,
Yeah.
and they leave, and then there's like 9 carts at the end of whatever.
that's
Anyway.
my favorite part is pushing my cart into all the other carts.
Right. Yeah. That's satisfying.
Yeah, it releases some dopamine.
I wish there was more people like you, Chandler.
Aw,
I mean that.
thank you so much.
No, but there's like the roofs on those are just like panels of like plastic. And they were
Yes.
like blowing off.
Really?
Like 3 different panels blew off.
That
and were,
sounds
like,
actually
flying
really
around.
dangerous.
Oh, it was. Then one of our doors broke and it was
Good.
flapping around. And no, it was like like a sliding door, like
It
an automatic
broke and it
one.
was flapping
Oh, you have
around.
like a sliding glass patio door on
Yeah.
your door?
No, it was like slapping around. There was like there was a live wire hitting the door at
Oh
one
my
point.
God.
Like,
Pat,
My
What?
manager went and like touched the door and he's like, "Oh, I got shocked." I'm like, "What?"
oh, workplace accident. I just got electrocuted. What is going on over there? Do we need OSHA? Like, what's going on?
I might get in trouble for this podcast. No, I don't know. It was
Did you work
it was a fun day.
for-
Honestly, it was a really fun day though because it was so weird and like that's never happened before. So something new.
You mean like catastrophic
Yeah,
mishaps, like and
Catastrophic.
dangerous? Yeah, I guess.
exciting stuff.
Was
Wow. I mean, you should maybe find a different line of work at this point. I don't know. That sounds.
Was it actually snowing sideways here in the Lehigh Valley?
Yes.
Because when I got home, I realized that what?
I don't know. I don't live here. Why'd you
He's
look at
asking
me?
me.
I don't know. Just in general. When I got home, it wasn't even snowing anymore. It was just windy.
Guys, let's debate. Was it snowing horizontally?
I'm not convinced. Where's it now?
I
I don't see any snow in the studio.
I was at Applebee's that night before, like, well, when did it start? It happened like overnight.
No, I think it was like
It was
10,
it was raining
o'clock?
Friday morning when
Yeah,
I
it
got
was
to work.
Raining really bad.
it really kicked off around 10, I'd say.
Yeah,
10 in the
that's what I want to say.
morning.
Yeah.
Morning.
Yes.
10 in the afternoon.
So the night that night before that, I was at Applebee's until it closed.
Applebee's closest.
Applebee's closes at 2 a.m. We found out. So
That's a science experiment.
it is. No, it's an experiment of just like, you know, it's like you don't want to leave. Like, I don't want to get in my car and drive.
Do you enjoy Applebee's food?
It was half-assed.
Okay, that seems like the only. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's a good reason to go.
Isn't
for
that
sure.
the only reason to go to Applebee's?
Yeah,
I like their boneless wings.
Sure. Yeah, they were good. I had those actually.
Have
That's
you
what
ever
I got.
gone and like ordered a meal?
Well,
Don't do
that's a
that.
little outrageous.
Don't do that. I did that once. Worst idea of my life.
Yeah, it's not really fine dining. I know people. There are some people I know, friends of mine, in fact, that go to Applebee's like every week. It's a little much. I fear for their health. I fear for their opinion of what good food is as well. Because I mean, it's not the highest caliber of food, you know, you could really go for.
It's definitely better.
But
We're all going on a food date tomorrow, right?
I'm going on a day-long food date.
Well, you and your
How does
pen
that-
pal from
you might-
Jersey, right? I'm only invited to the dinner.
yeah, that has been very.
Zach, you want to come and spend the entire day with me and my friend you've never met?
Absolutely not. No.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna be late to that. So, but your friend is from New Jersey.
Yeah.
Wow, cool.
And you wanted to go for wings at fan meetup at
PJ Wellahan's.
all right
And
well,
Walbert.
at Walbert.
That's the one.
I don't know where that is.
That's
What's
the
it-
one 2
what's it
feet from
called?
here.
Wahlburgers? There's one of those
PJ
around here.
PJ Wellahan's, I think it's called. at
That's what it's
Walbert.
called.
It's like
Is it
literally it's
good?
down the street. You pass it every
Is it
day on your
really?
way home.
Oh.
That's all right. Yeah, some good wings.
It's
And
Oh,
it's
Pat's
also
inviting
wing
us
night.
to an all-right dinner.
Wait, are you
Work hard, put food on the table, and this is how
are
you
you
treat
talking
me.
about the place that's all the way down off the train tracks?
Yes.
That's not that
You've
far.
been there. It's not.
We went there together.
Yeah.
Remember? Okay. Oh, okay. So it's
What-
that place. I didn't know that. I didn't, because there's a few of them. Is
Yeah.
why.
No,
Fan
I wanted to do
Fan
that
meetup.
one because you were coming, and it was like, it's like 10 minutes closer to you, and
It
all my
is.
friends live on the other side, so like it's not that much further from them.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I'll be late because I'll be at orientation.
That's whatever.
Yeah. Sorry.
For what?
I'm actually joining the Rebel Alliance,
Oh,
and we have
wow,
to go over
cool.
the Death Star plans.
Neat.
It's already destroyed, idiot.
Another one?
That happened a long time ago.
Where at, Pat?
Can we, can we debate about that for a second?
What?
Because I have people who are like, okay, this is a bit of a confusing conundrum here, but there's people who I've argued with who are like, no, the opening thing says in a galaxy far, far away, a long, long time ago. So that means it happened in our past. Like it happened before our current present day right now.
No,
I'm
they're
like,
telling a
that's
story
not what
about the
that
past.
means. Right. It means that someone from the future of these events is telling the story.
Yeah.
But why?
But why? Why are they?
That's the next trilogy
No.
20 years from now,
No,
dude.
either
way.
They're going to
Narrator.
take a step
Either
back.
way,
It's
it
going to
could
get real
work.
meta.
Either way, it could work.
Yeah, sure.
There's no.
But there's a
wrong
right and
answer.
wrong. Yeah, there
There's
is.
not.
Yeah.
No, there's not.
Because the former is dumb.
Yeah,
If you-
right.
If you believe that you're a basket case and you need,
Wow.
you need help,
I've never been called that before. Wait, really? You don't think that's like? What is it? First of all, we're talking about Star Wars chronology, so who cares? Second of all,
right?
why? why is it more ridiculous to believe that this happened in a different galaxy a long time ago as opposed to the future in our galaxy? Is that what you? That's
No, not the future. No, not even the future
sorry.
in our galaxy. Just it's a different entire world. You know, it has nothing to do with our realm.
then why does it matter what the timeline is?
That's what I'm saying.
No, you're not.
Pat, I think
saying
you're one of the people. I think you're one of those people.
for sure, absolutely.
And you're defending it very much.
I went to askgeorgelucas.com. Turns out that's not a place, so I don't know what we're gonna do.
Oh, wait, can Jeeves take you there?
Let's find out.
Jeeves he opens up the door to George's office for you. Right this way, so.
So I don't. Okay, basically, it doesn't matter.
Wow.
But I'm saying, how is one more ridiculous than the other?
Patrick, what are you doing?
Pat,
we're live on the air right now.
Take us to the break, Pat.
All right.
Think about this. This is career suicide.
All right, yeah. All right, we're going to a break.
We'll be right back.
Yep. And we're back. I'm still angry, but we're moving on.
Patrick.
Wow, that's the most emotion you've ever
Poor
had.
that a podcast. I'm still riding that high.
I've never seen Patrick so heated than he is right now, faced.
Can we move on? I really don't want to do this again.
I don't want to do this again. Not with you. I feel like
some other time.
You're too unruly. You're too emotional about it. You can't look at it through an objective lens.
Like
You're
the
too
Oscars.
biased.
So let's talk about that.
Much like the Oscars.
Wow.
Oh, wait. Well, do we want to talk about, you mentioned something you wanted to mention about Ultra-C News. You want to give a shout out to that?
You're the one who was in it.
I guess. But you're the one who brought it up earlier, and I was like,
no, I'm pretty sure
know.
someone else brought it up.
Who brought it up? Josh, did you bring it up?
Most definitely.
Josh,
it was Josh Brennan.
It was me.
Oh. Josh,
a traitor in our midst.
Joshua Brennan, as a lot of you know, is the captain of the film club.
The Lance Corporal.
And we filmed a little production last week on Thursday where it's called Ultra-C News, where I was a co-anchor of the show, and Storm did the original pilot of it. But Storm, as you know, is no longer with us.
Rest in peace.
I'm just kidding. No, he's just not around as much anymore. But no, so he wasn't around for reshoots or anything like that. And so yeah, we filmed it. It was good.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. I mean, we filmed it all in like an hour for as much as we had. And we did it in what, 2 takes? So
A little bit more than that.
A little bit. All right. Well,
It was 15.
it's 2 now. But
It's like the longest 2 takes of his life.
I just left it recording.
but yeah, he did actually. There's a lot of
So was it in
blooper
the
reel.
room?
Yeah. But the person I was co-anchor with, Derek, he's very good.
Yeah.
Or Rick.
Yeah, he's
I've
very
heard.
good. Or Rick.
Yeah.
My name's not Rick. But he was really good. He was a very good speaker. Knew what he was doing, so it went really smooth, I'd say.
Knew the whole language.
Yeah, he knew
Wow.
all
Killing
the
it.
English words. Yeah, it was really good. We actually
Good.
had the teleprompters this time too, which I'm sure
really?
Storm would have loved
Yeah.
because he did not have those, as you guys know. He was really struggling up there last time. But yeah, no, it was good. I wore a yellow shirt.
I saw.
I don't know if that was a bit much. Was that, Josh?
Was it a nice yellow shirt?
It was a button down.
Okay.
I don't know. Yellow's not my color. You know?
Whose color is yellow?
Whose color is yellow?
Tweet at us.
Tweety.
Poorly edited
Tweety
pod.
bird.
Tweety bird. Big bird. Any of the birds.
A lot of yellow birds out there.
Shout out
Shout out
to all the yellow birds. Oh, no.
Wow. Were the Oscars that
Dude,
bad?
speaking of yellow birds, let's talk about Ladybird.
Oh, that was a
what a
decent
segue.
one. I didn't
Did
see
that win something?
No.
Didn't see that film.
No, my sister was very disappointed.
Oh.
Did it win nothing at all?
No, nothing.
You have the list up.
Guillermo swept the table.
Swept the.
Didn't he get like 2 or 3 or something?
He won
I don't
Best
know.
Picture. So,
Okay.
spoilers. I'm sorry. If you guys didn't see the Oscars, bless you,
Oh,
Josh.
wow. I don't know if
Josh
that's
did
allowed.
Josh is
like-
allergic to spoilers.
How am Josh, how am I going to edit that? Dude.
Well, believe it or not, I steady cammed
He
No.
did. He did. He did like a hold my beer kind of thing. All right. So the Oscars last night were very good. And I didn't see all the films. I don't know anyone who can watch all the Oscar films, you know?
I don't think
Who
the
has the
committee even
time?
watches all the Oscar
No,
films.
they don't.
I think they choose a winner and then watch them.
That's a good way to do it. They actually pick them all out of a hat. All the names of the movies out of a hat.
I did something interesting where I saw that a movie was nominated and then watched that instead of the Oscars.
During the Oscars, right?
The Oscars, yeah.
What movie?
Baby Driver.
Oh, wow.
Oh, how was it?
I loved every part of it except the main character.
Cool.
Oh, it's a major portion of it. Cool.
Surprise! It's weird. This is the first time it's ever happened where I'm actually like I'm very sold on the rest of the movie. It was awesome, except for the main character.
That's how I feel about the show.
Still like the movie.
That's kind of how I felt about Black Panther. The main character was the weakest character to me. But Baby Driver's amazing. Baby Driver
It's amazing.
is my now. Like I said, I didn't see all the films that came out this year. I don't know who can.
Best Picture.
Who's
Chandler,
the movie robot?
2018.
I'm not gonna say what's objectively like the masterpiece of film like of the year, but I love Baby Driver. It was an amazing experience. Probably my favorite film of the year by far. Though I do plan on seeing the hit films like The Shape of Water, which I wanted to see all of these films like before the Oscars when they were still in theaters, but I've just been busy, can't get out to the theater as much as I want to. And when I finally do cash it in, it's on a film like Black Panther, which frankly, I would have preferred if
What else was playing at that time, though?
Nothing.
Right, so.
Yeah.
I feel like that always happens with Marvel movies. With them. Like, I want to see a movie, and it's just, well, I guess it's another superhero movie.
Yeah.
Nothing else is good.
That's probably because they avoid them. They see Marvel movies coming out, and they're like,
yes.
Yeah.
Let's release
It's a good point.
sometime else.
You'd be dumb to go up against the Marvel movie at the box office.
I can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, check out my remake of Be Kind Rewind
Yeah.
in theaters.
Were we talking about that on air? Or was that off air we were talking about
That was
that?
literally 20 minutes ago. Not even. That was on air.
I have no idea.
This is what happens when we don't go to class in the beginning of the day, and then we come in early. We got to the studio early today. We were fresh, ready to go. Mistake, because we're used to coming in late or like 2 minutes before we're supposed to start.
We really hamstringed ourselves with the amount of time we set aside.
Yes.
We just had too much.
Yeah, we had like a full hour.
Yeah,
here
generally the more time we get, the later we'll be.
Yeah.
Oh,
The more we mess everything up leading up to it, because we're like, oh, we have time. That's not how it works.
We almost started late still, even though
We did almost start late. We started
Chandler
right on the
here.
dot today. Let's
Right
not
on
make
the
a habit of it. We'll be late next week, live at WXLB.
Live at 4-ish.
The amount of times I've had to tell people that,
That's generally how I do the Facebook posts.
Yeah.
Like, we'll be live from 4-ish to 5-ish on WXLV the X.
I would tell guests that too in the emails beforehand. I'd be like, you expect her around 4. I don't really know when.
we have to keep professional.
Yeah. So Phantom Thread was probably a film that I really missed that I wanted to see very much, because Phantom Thread, Paul Thomas Anderson directed, again with Daniel Day-Lewis. Daniel Day-Lewis said it was his last film, and Daniel Day-Lewis is probably my favorite actor in the biz, honestly. I love everything. Like, just, always a solid performance from my boy Daniel.
Killing it.
Killing the game. Gangs of New York, great film. There Will Be Blood, if you haven't seen. That's a Paul Thomas Anderson movie as well. Very good film. And he gives a very good performance in that. But yeah, so I'm very upset. I thought it came out in February because there were so few trailers I saw. I don't know why. And then it came out in December. So I was a little late.
Close.
No, I was a little late on that. It was out of theaters. I'm glad Disaster Artist was nominated, though. That was cool.
Would have been really weird if that won.
What was that nominated for?
Best Screenplay Adaptation.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was up against Call Me By Your Name, which won. But that did look like a very good film.
There was another big one it was up against. I can't remember, for adapted screenplay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're the one with the computer in front of you.
Oh, Logan.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It was Logan.
Logan?
And that was crazy.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting.
So going back to last week when we talked, I think it was last week when we talked about Logan and X-Men Origins, anyone who says Logan is bad or worse than X-Men Origins, you're not right.
Do you think Lamont was on the judging team?
Yeah, he was like, no way.
He's like, we didn't give it to
way.
X-Men Origins. We're not giving it to Logan.
Yes. I don't know.
Logan was really good, though.
It was really good.
Really good. Not even like for a Marvel movie. It was just really good.
A Marvel movie being up for an Oscar is pretty lit.
Mhm.
You must know that it is pretty different and pretty interesting and a decent experience if it's up for an Oscar. Because I feel like a lot of them usually get heavily overlooked. I'm surprised that Star Wars this year even got nominated.
I don't think Force Awakens did for anything, did it?
I think they may have. I don't remember, though.
Probably the same stuff.
Force Awakens deserves an Oscar far more than The Last Jedi does.
That's a whole different point, though.
But that's a whole different podcast for our. Head on over to our
that podcast.
Head on over to our other channel, the Last Jedi podcast. Where we talk about the Last Jedi every week.
Where Danny Yates is our guest every week.
Danny Yates does.
Biggest Star Wars fan.
He is very apathetic towards it.
I love how he has like the most neutral opinion of them, but yeah, he's watched every one of them.
Yeah, it's weird.
I like it.
I'm not going to talk about
noble.
It's noble.
It's noble.
I'm not going to talk about Star Wars. I'm going to refrain a little bit from talking about Star Wars. I want to talk about how Baby Driver didn't win. I'm upset about because it was up for film editing, sound design, and sound editing. I thought it at least would take a sound design award, but Dunkirk beat it in every category. Dunkirk, very good film.
Very good.
Christopher Nolan, great job. The editing, I honestly, I totally agree with it getting the Oscar for editing because that is true, right? Can you?
It did, yeah. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
Every time I say something, please make sure.
Sure, yeah.
So I don't feed everyone misinformation.
It says Last Jedi one. That's weird.
That's
Wow,
weird.
huh.
But Dunkirk did a really good job with the editing. The editing was done so well to build tension, even when sometimes there was no real tension. Like you just felt this knot in your stomach the entire time, and I attribute that heavily to the way it was cut.
And the ticking.
And the ticking
really got to me.
That does help.
Yeah. That
What?
does.
What? You think I was going somewhere with that? Did you guys know Michael Caine is in that movie?
Where?
Yeah, he's the voice of the guy who's driving, Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
He's the voice of the person over the speaker that he communicates with in the very beginning before he sets off.
That's weird. I didn't know Tom Hardy was that pilot until the end of the movie.
Oh. Did you know he? Because Chandler has the
No,
look on
I
it. Yeah.
didn't know it was Tom
That was
Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
Here's the thing about Tom Hardy. He looks different in every movie, and I can't tell
He's like
who he
Gary
is.
Oldman
Yeah. Oh, well. Yeah, I guess.
in a way, because he does a lot
What's
of.
up with Christopher Nolan? Chris, cast some new people.
No, he did.
Yeah, well, like
And then they'll
one.
be in the next one, and then the next
Yeah,
one. So
yeah.
just wait.
I'm really into. Where was Batman?
That's
I
a
was
good
waiting
point.
for Batman.
That's a
It was a
good point.
spin-off
Yeah.
of, as you
They-
know, Dark Knight Rises,
Right.
Dunkirk.
Right. They had Bane in the plane.
Right. Where was that? I don't know. I don't get it. But no, Dunkirk was. Coffee guy just was so upset.
I was like, can I quit? Can I just leave?
You
No, I
just-
guess I probably shouldn't.
And that's all we have for you this week, guys. No, but yeah, no, Dunkirk was really good. The weird thing about Dunkirk I want to point out is when I watched that film, it felt very like the cinematography and all that felt very surreal and dreamlike. And I don't know, I haven't talked to anyone else who relates in that opinion, but I mean, I know you saw it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's just something about, especially the opening, I feel like it's like the blocking and the set. It just feels so weird.
Yeah, no, it's sort of jumpy like a dream would. Not in a bad way.
Yes.
But I know what you mean.
And it felt like to me that everything was on rails, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like
it felt
everything,
in that way,
it had
like
a
you would in a
purpose,
dream.
It was going there. You couldn't stop it.
Yeah, it was weird.
I think the lack of dialogue actually drove that forward. Too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good movie. Really great movie. I'm not saying it didn't deserve
Yeah, fantastic.
everything it got.
I think Baby Driver should have won something. Though.
Yeah, man. Baby Driver is such a good film, but it doesn't need an Oscar.
No.
For us to know it's an amazing film. The other person
Speak for yourself.
I was texting live texting during the
Wow.
Oscars with.
Cool.
And
Talking to someone?
we were just, wow. And we were just look, very upset at Baby Driver not winning. But we're like, look, we know it's a good movie. That's all that matters, okay? We can still enjoy it.
It's better than my sister who was just waiting for Lady Bird to win anything and
Aw,
nothing.
I didn't see that film. That's actually not one on the list for me, though it was up for a lot. I don't even really know what it's about.
I don't either. That's probably why it's not on your list.
Oh, maybe.
Wow. I'm sold. Let's go see it.
I really want to see Shape of Water.
Yeah, I do too.
Really bad. And I want to see Phantom Thread. I want to see The Post, even though I don't know if that was up for an Oscar.
Probably was. Had enough good actors in it.
Yeah. And Call
The
Me by Your
Post?
Name looks really good as well. Army Hammer, is that his name?
It sounds super fake.
Sounds super funny. So there was a bunch of stuff that happened like during the show that I thought was pretty rad. They had a musical number from Coco, Remember Me, I think is what it's called.
That's what won.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love Coco so much. I saw that in the theaters when it came out, and I think that it's a milestone kind of movie. I think it's really amazing, and you should definitely go see it. If you have to watch one animated movie this year, I'd say go watch Coco because it's really solid. And I love that song from it as well. And they performed that live. And then they Common performed as well. Dave Chappelle actually introduced Common's performance.
No way.
The rapper Common. Here's the thing.
That's super weird.
This is the most mind-blowing. This is by far the most mind-blowing part of the show last night because for those of you who don't know, stand-up comedian Dave Chappelle, who had hosted the Chappelle Show on Comedy Central for years in the early 2000s. Hilarious show. Have it all on DVD. You should really check it out if you haven't. Dave Chappelle left Hollywood for 10 years because he dropped his show. His show was at the height of everything going on for him. Dropped his show, left Hollywood because
dropped a huge contract.
Absolutely,
a lot of money.
Yes, he walked away from a lot of money, and he said his rationale was he didn't want to be in Hollywood anymore because it's crazy, because it's not healthy, because it's not good.
There's a great interview with him, and I think his name's James Lipton of I forget what the show's called. Awesome show. Inside the Actors Studio.
Yes.
Amazing interview show with actors. If you're into films, if you're into actors, watch that show. It's awesome.
100%.
He talks about that a lot in his episode. Really interesting stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've watched a lot of interviews from him, like right around that time, and you can tell, like, just from the way he talks, like, that's the case, and that it's a very genuine distaste for, how things were going, and the things that he saw, in Hollywood, I think too, bothered him a great deal. And so for him to, he's on his comeback. He has a bunch of new Netflix specials out. He's been doing stand-up gigs left and right, which are all hilarious. And I caught up on Netflix like last week. Hilarious, and you should watch those as well. But he spares no detail talking about, standing by his decision to leave Hollywood like he did, and, get a little more in depth for that. But for him to be then on the Oscars last night, which is like the epicenter of all things Hollywood that you could possibly think of, like the largest Hollywood get-together there is. For him to be there, the same guy who 10 years ago was like, I want nothing to do with this, and this is crazy, what I thought was like, whoa. But he was very tasteful. He's still very funny, and he talked about there was a lot of, last night there was a lot of, the Oscars in the past have been lauded, they've been criticized for not being diverse enough in the past. And I think they've tried very hard to subvert that expectation. And they did a very good job last night, I would say. And so that was a heavy underlying theme, throughout the show last night, and Chappelle talked a little bit about that, and then he introduced, rapper Common to perform, which is also just, it's like, what are you talking about? I remember watching the Chappelle Show as a kid.
And Chappelle Show
yes,
as a
I
kid.
did.
Well, listen, we're all pretty young here.
As a younger
we were
person,
all kids when we watched that.
and it's probably why I am the way I am.
Yeah.
But
Thanks, Dave.
and Common performed on Chappelle's show all those years ago, and Kanye West was there, which is a great performance. I love that so much. But like, for them to go from that to being on the Oscars together, for Chappelle to then be introducing Common on the Oscars and performing on the Oscars, is just like this crazy full circle kind of like, what even, I don't know. It was just a really amazing moment, and Common Gravy, great performance. And yeah, I don't know, dude. It was just like, I don't know if you'll be able to find it like on the internet and stuff,
I'm
but
sure you can.
you should. It was probably it's definitely my favorite moment of the show last night. But yeah.
All right, we're gonna go to a break quick.
Absolutely. We'll
So
see
be
you
right
soon.
back.
Is there
And we're back. What? What were you gonna say?
I thought we were still in I thought we were going to be in a break for a bit
I
longer.
said 10 seconds. And
Well, I don't know
10
how to
seconds
count.
later, Chandler starts talking.
I don't know how to count, Patrick. We've
Like
been
on
over
the
this.
dime too.
That's why you're our numbers guy. Because I don't know.
You don't need to know how to count.
I need a calculator near me all the time to figure these things out. So yeah. What were there any films? I don't even know what films you guys saw. I'm gonna assume Coffee Guy, you saw none of them at all.
That were nominated?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Good.
I don't think I did.
Keeping up. And Pat, I think you said
Baby Driver.
Baby Driver, Dunkirk. Well, yeah, you heard.
Dunkirk?
Oh, whoa! I watched
Logan?
Dunkirk because we were just talking about Dunkirk.
Oh, that's right.
Right? Yeah.
Bless you, Josh.
How am I going
What a
to edit that?
professional.
No, you're doing great, Josh.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I just didn't take my allergy medication.
Are you
That's not
allergic
good.
to the Oscars or
That's
this
it.
show? Oh, maybe it's Pat.
It's prime.
Get away from him.
Anyway, yeah, I watched Dunkirk. That was it. I probably only did because what? What?
Okay.
I told you to watch Dunkirk.
You did.
What's
I
up with
planned on it though.
No, that's all.
Because I'm
it's
a
all
big
me.
Christopher Nolan fan.
Same. Chris killed it.
Chrissy N.
Chrissy N.
I love just how he's, like his expression all night last night. He was just so stone cold. Like,
Yeah.
Dude, it's,
he just knew
who
it's
cares
up.
at this point?
Honestly, yeah.
Just another Oscar. Gotta make the shelf bigger.
Who won Best Director? Because I forget. Was it Guillermo?
I think it was Guillermo.
I think it was.
Yes,
Del
Guillermo
Toro.
del Toro.
He's amazing. He's such a doll. I'm really excited for Death Stranding, which he's working on.
Ooh, yeah.
The video game he's working on with Hideo Kojima
Only
of
had a
Metal Gear
PlayStation.
Solid fame. Is it only on PlayStation?
It's only on PlayStation.
That's fine. I'm still going to play it. But yeah, it looks. They released some like recent gameplay of it or like trailers of it, and it looks so intriguing. Also, what's Norman Reedus is the main character.
Daryl.
Daryl Dixon, starring
Yeah,
Daryl
that's him.
Dixon, Death Stranding. But yeah, I can't wait for that. That was like every time I saw him, because he's like Guillermo, I believe, is mocapped like as a character also in Death Stranding. So like every time I saw him, I was just like, I just kept thinking of that.
That's him.
Yeah.
He directed Pan's Labyrinth.
Did he actually?
That was yeah. You didn't know that?
I don't even know if I saw that movie.
I really want to see that movie.
I didn't even think I read the book.
The same dude who was in costume as the water or whatever his name is in The Shape of Water. He's the same guy from Hellboy,
Yes.
and he's also in Pan's Labyrinth as one of the creatures.
Can we talk about that? Can we talk about how? So a few weeks ago, Storm misled me about The Shape of Water being an unofficial prequel to, like a soft prequel to Hellboy, because in Hellboy, which is directed by Guillermo del Toro, there is a character named Abe Sapien who is a bipedal amphibian sea creature character, and in Shape of Water, that character is a bipedal amphibious sea creature character directed by Guillermo del Toro, played by the same actor that played Abe Sapien in Hellboy. So when Storm told me that it's an unofficial prequel, I said, that makes total sense. Absolutely, I believe you. Until last night, when I'm like thinking about it, and then I start researching it, and that's not true at all. To which I say, I don't fault Storm for at all, because any rational human being would probably have jumped to that conclusion. But like, what do you, why not at that point? Like, why not just say it is? Like,
No.
no,
No.
you don't want more Hellboy content?
That means Hellboy's canon in The Shape of Water. which seems weird to me. Like Ron Perlman's running around while The Shape of Water is going on.
I guess, but I would have been fine with it. Abe Sapien just has a little more colorful of a backstory than we initially believed. I don't know. It just seemed weird. Like when you lay it all out on the table like that, it seems like what? Like why did Guillermo go in that direction? If he knew that was probably going to be the conclusion people would automatically jump to.
I didn't jump there.
And he's so all right, man.
Well, when you have an idea, you have an idea. And if you know somebody you want to play the part, that's right, then you do it.
You're writing the script with a water guy in it. What if some ideas don't make it into the script? So you write another script with a water guy in it.
That's probably what it was. That's pretty much all it was.
There was just the table scraps from Hellboy. That's what won him all the Oscars. I think, frankly, Shape of Water winning the major categories that it did, being the movie that it is, though I haven't seen it, I understand the nature of the film. And even Guillermo himself, during his acceptance speech for Best Picture, said it himself, that for a film like this, a fantasy kind of crazy film like it is, to be recognized in this way is like a milestone moment, to have recognition like that and to show that a film like that is and can be recognized as being of that high of caliber.
That's a big step, even though it is, very little fantasy,
Yeah, right. But like, it's not Moonlight, it's not like it's La La Land, which La La Land was a little out there as well, but not like this. And yeah, I don't know. I just think that's really cool. I think it's really important. And he said, because I guess he's an immigrant from Mexico, I believe, and
I'll fact check that.
Fact check me. And for him to come here and growing up having the dreams of being a filmmaker and come here and just go for it and to be where he is now is so inspiring. And a huge theme last night was just like, do it. If you're out there and you think that you have a story to tell, or you're a creative person, or you want to be a part of that magic, it's like, go for it. Because all those other people who were in that room last night probably at one point were like, that might not happen for me. Like, I might not ever get to that point where I'm on that stage, or I'm rubbing elbows with these people. But someday, like, it can be possible. And, if you work hard enough and you want it enough and you're passionate enough. And I think that's really awesome, to encourage young artists, because there are a lot out there. Well, I mean, no one in this room, but I'm just kidding.
He's in fact Mexican.
Okay.
He was born in Guadalajara, Mexico.
Oh, wow.
He also totally forgot he directed Pacific Rim. That was an awesome movie.
Pacific Rim was good. Didn't know he directed it. I'm dumb.
No, I totally forgot too.
Did you direct the second one?
Yeah.
All right. He's a busy guy.
Yeah.
He's a really busy guy.
So going back a little bit, how big of a step do you actually think Shape of Water winning Best Picture will have an impact?
I think...
I only bring that up because I forgot in 2004, The Return of the King won Best Picture.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure that did much.
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
Lord of the Rings.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
One.
What year did you say?
2004.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
I thought you said like a more recent.
Dude, last year, Return of the King.
Yeah, I was
Wow,
like,
yeah.
what movie is that?
They got there.
Yeah, Return of the King. But
It took them that long to finish watching it.
Return of the King is a really great film. Peter Jackson's a great director. Those movies are just really solid. I think, I don't know, I think it'd be interesting to go through and look at all throughout the years, like what's won Best Picture, and to see if there's any trend or anything like that. Bye, Josh. Josh has to go to his real job now, and he'll be departing. See ya. Have a safe drive, flight. Bye. But yeah.
Josh, wait. Don't forget, I need that SD card.
All right.
Okay.
He's not going to give it to us.
Okay. That's fine.
All right. So no show. We'll have no show to upload. But yeah, no, I think, I don't know. I'm sure that, you know, a wacky, zany sci-fi type fantasy film isn't going to win every year, but
Right. Yeah.
I think the fact that they're being recognized in that way, and that you know, the Academy's not just vying for the more subdued, realistic, grounded and down to earth type of stories and films and stuff like that. I think it's interesting. I think it's a really interesting step, and Guillermo del Toro surely deserves all the recognition and the prestige that he's getting. He's a really talented director, and he's a very hardworking director at that. And I think his story is really great. But yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see. That was one thing I said last night, was that, you know, because I've watched previous years of the Oscars, and like this year was just so, the competition was so stiff, and the films that were up for grabs were it was such a diverse pool, so many varying moods and styles and tastes, and they were all there last night up against each other, and it just felt so, I don't know, it was just so cool, you know, because in previous years I was watching and I was like, those movies just, I don't care about those, and a lot of them are pretentious, and, you know, I'm not interested, and they're very, as I said before, like very subdued and very kind of stuffy and boring, and I think that's sometimes what you may expect from what you'd consider an Oscar best picture kind of thing, you know, something a little more artsy or, you know, whatever. But it wasn't like that last night, and it was just like great films that I think there was something there for everybody, that anyone could root for, you know, last night. And I just think it was a really great year for movies, honestly, to be completely.
It's good. I only watched one of them.
Good.
Perfect. Yeah. No, I'd like to watch some of those.
Yeah, well, I was compiling a list all night last night, so I'm going to surely catch up, probably maybe even this week, since I have this annoying spring break that I hate.
Why don't we just film stuff?
Okay, you say so. I don't know what you have to film, or what you...
I got stuff to film.
All right, Captain. We'll be filming all week. Catch us. Fan meetup.
Wait, no.
Show up on set.
PJ Willis.
Blue Harvest.
What?
Absolutely. Blue Harvest was the name that George Lucas, the fake name that George Lucas filmed Return of the Jedi under.
I knew that.
Yeah, so that people wouldn't show up on set and bother him.
You made a good move, because Blue Harvest sounds like a stupid movie.
Sounds stupid. So dumb.
On that note, we're going to go to a break.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, George Lucas, take that.
We'll be back with the Star Wars podcast.
Last
Danny
Jedi.
Yates.
Always comes back to that.
Welcome back to Star Wars Podcast.
That was a really good intro. There was a lot of life in that, I would say.
Thanks, man.
Have you been practicing?
No.
Oh.
This is actually all my energy for the rest of the podcast. I'm going to take a nap.
You're just going to be like this for the rest of the time. Coffee Guy, what are you doing over there?
I'm looking at 15 things to know from the awkward red carpet.
Don't look at that article. Don't give that page views.
I didn't watch the red carpet very much. I don't care much about the red carpet at all.
No?
Because it is awkward. It feels awkward. And I just don't know.
How do you guys feel about like the celebrity culture? We're all obsessed.
Celebrity. Yeah, it's
messed up.
Something that was definitely, I think it's hard to watch something like that and not have that in your head.
I don't think so.
I don't know. It's just, I'm sorry. Go on.
I mean, at the end of the day, they're just people doing their jobs.
Yeah.
I think the thing that makes us like them a lot is that they make us feel emotions, and that they're in something that we like.
Yes.
So like that makes us like them, but that doesn't mean they're good people or that we should base our lives off them.
Yeah, it borders on obsession for a lot of people to be not interested in, like, I'm interested in those people because of the work they do, because of the amazing performances they give, the amazing stories they tell, you know, and the experiences that they bring to me that I hold very near and dear to my heart, and like what I do as well, and why I'm you know, studying in the field that I am and doing the things that I am. And I'm not interested about their personal lives or what they were wearing yesterday or who really
I can tell you.
you know, or what they ate for breakfast or where they're currently located in the world vacationing. Like those, I feel like that's this disconnect and that unhealthy line of, I don't understand why people, I should say I understand it. I understand that you think of them as this upper echelon, the 1%, the people that I think a lot of other people want to be or wish they could be, or the lives they lead are the ones that they wish they had. And, you know, so you're very interested and you're very enthralled in all of that, and you want every little detail. But I don't think that's good, you know?
I think so.
And I the media is really, they feed a lot into that, and tabloids and paparazzi, and, you know, those are all money-making machines that are just centered around not the work that those people are doing, but around just them being those people, you know, that they're held to a higher regard just because they're famous and stuff like that. And I don't think you're ever going to be able to stop that or get away from that, but I do think it's like something to be mindful of. I think everyone should like keep that in the back of their head and like catch themselves when they can and put it a little more into perspective. And it's like, and also if you're that interested in having that life that much, you know, if you're that ensnared by that lifestyle and all the glamour and the glitz that you see, maybe instead of wasting your time focusing on those people doing those things, you should try getting there yourself. You know,
move to Hollywood, live in a box.
I'm not saying move to Hollywood, but you know, create
follow
something.
Your dreams.
Or follow your dream or do something. You know, if that's what you want, then stop wanting it and start going after it. You know what I mean? Don't be the one on the outside looking in. If that's not what you want to do, I just hit the mic. But yeah, I don't know. It is, but that is something I was definitely thinking about all last night. And they went over to Jimmy Kimmel, like asked anyone in the audience to like come with him to the Chinese theater next door, any celebrities, and like go into the theater and just like make an appearance and like surprise everyone. And then he had like one random person from that theater audience like read the next presenters for the Oscars and stuff. It was really cool. Lin-Manuel Miranda went, Guillermo del Toro went, a bunch of people, Armie Hammer, Ansel Elgort from Baby Driver, and
his favorite character.
Yeah, your least favorite character. They all went over, some other people, and it was hilarious, like the funniest moment in the entire show, because and I wanted to see the memes of it. I don't know if you can bring any up. I'm sure there are a lot.
I already closed down Firefox.
Yeah.
If I try to open it back up on this computer, I can have it ready for next week's show.
Might overheat, actually. It's already
Yeah, you're
pretty
probably
hot in
right.
here.
Yeah, that computer we thought was dead when we came in because it had a sticker on it that said "RIP," and then
Chris Andrew applied some sort of voodoo to it, just rubbed it, and it came back to life.
well, no, he peeled the "RIP" sticker off of it,
And then it worked.
and it worked.
Yeah.
It's all in the sticker, man.
It's all in the rest in peace sticker.
Yep.
So they didn't teach me that at IT when I went to school for that. But
The field moves quick.
yeah, it does. Yes, you got to go back to classes like every couple of years to catch up. But yeah, it was really hilarious. At one point, Lin-Manuel Miranda, and they just like gave all the celebrities that went in the surprise train a bunch of random stuff, such as hot dog cannons. I didn't even know that was a thing.
That's sweet.
That sounds
Wait,
amazing.
does it cook the hot dog in the
I
cannon?
don't know. But it fires them as projectiles, I do believe. I don't know.
It's dangerous.
Well, it's probably just, is it an actual cannon or is it just the thing they have at like ball games that shoots
See,
hot
I didn't
dogs?
know that
No,
was
like gunpowder.
Did you know
Pack
this
it
either?
down.
See,
I
this
didn't
is
watch.
the problem because I'm the only person who likes sports. They shoot hot dogs into the stands.
It just sounds dangerous.
Hey, I've been to
And
a baseball
unhealthy.
game
Are you
once.
sure?
I went once
Doesn't
and I
sound
was
like it.
young and got scared of the balls in the sky. I thought I was going to get hit by one.
Well, maybe you should have.
I saw the Iron Pigs. Shout out to the locals. Just kidding. The Iron Pigs, I don't think are doing that well ever. But
No, they were a couple years ago, recently.
But I remember when they became a football team.
Football team. And then they won the Super Cup.
And then they beat the Phillies, and here we are.
And then they won the Heisman. But so what was I just? Oh yeah, they're in the theater, and at one point, Lin-Manuel Miranda and Guillermo del Toro are co-op holding like charging in with a huge hoagie that they're like carrying on their shoulders, like it's that long, and they both have to like do it in tandem. And
did this happen like off the cuff, or was it a planned thing?
It was.
Because I had no idea this happened, so I don't know what.
believe that the participants was off the cuff.
Okay.
So like anyone who wanted to go, like just
was this just right in the middle of the show that they did this? That's cool.
They just came back from commercial break, and they were just like, "We're doing this," and they just did that, and it was so amazing. But yeah, just I'm glad that it was like free on cable. Not free, cable isn't free, but you know that was like something of that caliber, because I would pay, and don't tell them this that run the Oscars, but I would pay
they're not listening.
exorbitant amount of money to see Lin-Manuel Miranda and Guillermo del Toro co-op hold a hoagie and trudge through a movie theater like that. Like, because Lin-Manuel Miranda is my boy, dude. Like, honestly, I love him so much. I was so glad that he was there last night.
Would you pay twice as much at the theater every time you go to see a movie for there to be a 5% chance that would happen?
How much more?
Twice as much.
That's like $50.
That's like $100,000.
Have you guys been to the movies lately? That's actually why I didn't see any of the Oscars, because I can't afford it, because I like, you know, I don't even have good medical insurance. I can't afford to see movies that often at $100 a pop, you know?
Yeah.
That's got to go to my dental.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cutthroat out there. But yeah, no, there's actually that thing at the AMC where you can pay $10 for a movie pass for unlimited movies or something, like $10 a month.
Oh, okay. What?
Literally, you see one movie a month, and that pays for itself, or 3 movies in 1 month, and that pays for the next 3 months. However you want to go for it.
Wow.
Tell me more.
The options are endless.
What about 4 months?
Hey, that's not an even split, and I'm confused now, and you know that
Why
would
is that
confuse
not
me.
What do you mean it's not even split?
Listen, Pat.
You just watched
what?
it 4 times.
Pat, you're the numbers guy.
Oh my God.
I'm the guy with the golden
Dude,
voice.
it makes more sense with 4 months. You can see one a week.
Oh.
What does
For one. Okay.
Yeah, if you watch
chill
one.
out?
Before we blow Chandler's mind, I think we have to cut it here. So where can we find you guys?
Don't.
Just
Don't.
get away as
You should
fast
check out-
as you can.
Check
The
out our
only
Facebook page.
the only thing we have going on right now is the Facebook page, Poorly Edited Podcast. Be sure to check out the YouTube channel, Poorly Edited Podcast.
That's not true. I've been posting on Instagram.
Are you still taking a lot of photos?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
The Poorly Edited Podcast Instagram.
Okay.
Go check that out. Also, a little announcement. If we very soon, our YouTube channel is going to change names. So don't be confused. We're changing our name to Lab 212, which is going to be the name that we're going under, because we're going to be doing stuff that is not just this podcast.
Which we've sort of done before, but we want to do some more of it. Just
Right.
little shorts.
Yeah, shorts, skits, vlogs, other stuff too. Maybe some more music related stuff, because we have that mixtape that we want to release from all the fabulous people who have been on the show and stuff like that. So just like a lot of weird projects like that, merchandise as well. But like just a lot of stuff like that we want to have under that name, and because we're doing things that aren't just the podcast, So if you see our YouTube channel name change, that's why. Don't be scared. It's still us. Nothing's actually changing. It's just going to look better in the long run and be less confusing when we're posting things that aren't the podcast. But yeah, so.
Yeah, I mean, if the Oscars changed names, you would still watch it every year, right?
Oscars isn't even their name.
I heard, well, who's Oscar? I heard that they're changing their name to the Academy Awards next year.
They've been the Academy Awards.
Huh.
What? Did you not
Weird.
know that?
That's weird.
They started the Academy Awards, got the nickname the Oscars.
Is
They
this
must have said
is
that
this a
last
Bell
night.
thing?
I think so.
Huh.
Stupidity bell.
Well, shout out to all the contestants who won the Vince Lombardi Trophy last night at the Academy Awards. And I hope that we all get to see those magnificent films in the near future. And then when we do, I'm sure we'll like trickle in our opinions throughout the next few weeks about the movies that we should have already seen and talked about. Because I know that's what's going to happen to me. I'm going to see The Shape of Water. I'm going to want to talk about it for 15 minutes on the show and bore everyone. But yeah. So keep an eye out for that. This episode will probably be going up in 2 days.
Hopefully.
So keep your eye out for that.
Can it be done?
Can it be done? The quick turnaround, 2 days? That's not true. 3 days.
It can be done.
It can be done?
It's done every week.
We've done it in the past.
I do it every week. I usually don't start till Monday.
All righty then. You heard it here first. We're going to have to let you go.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's cool.
With that kind of work ethic.
That's a good point.
Thank God.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. And we will catch you guys next week. Go have a good spring break.
Please.
Go Phillies.
Because I'm not. Go Phillies.
Good night.